glad to have someone I call a friend, someone I call a mentor. I'm super excited to finally have you on something Scripture Union. This is Pastor Terry Yeow from DUMC's Next Gen. Hi, Terry.
Hello. Hi, Joel. Thanks for having me.
It's so good to have you. As I say, I'm very excited to have you on finally. Tell us a bit about yourself, maybe how you became a pastor.
Okay. All right. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to this live stream. I have to say this is my third time on a live stream, and I still have no idea how to react and behave. And okay. So before I introduce myself, I need to make a confession. Is that okay, Joel?
Sure.
So before this, right, I used to always laugh at YouTubers. I'll be like, "What's so hard? You know, you just talk to the camera only. What? You know, what's so hard?" I apologize to all YouTubers out there in the world. You have my respect. It is so hard. Like, you know, this is the only third time I'm doing this live stream, and I still have no idea how to react. Okay, so as Joel mentioned, I'm Pastor Terry Yeow, and I have the privilege of serving and leading the youth at DUMC, which is Damansara Utama Methodist Church, and we call ourselves Next Gen. And I focus on the teens, which is, if you're a teen here, you would be from the age of 13 to 17. At least that's our definition of teen lah. And I moved to DUMC in end of 2012. So this would be my almost 7.5 years there. And I've been in full-time ministry in DUMC for 6 years. I was commissioned as a pastor in DUMC about 2 years back. And so ever since, it has been quite a journey. I accepted Christ when I was 17, and I was nowhere near a Christian before that. But that is a story for another stream, because it'll probably be a 4-hour stream. So I've served in youth and music and worship since I was 18. So I am 36. Do the maths, Joel. Yes, yeah. So I've been involved in almost 20 years, I guess. So those are the two things that I'm the most passionate about: youth and music and worship. And I am a huge Manchester United fan.
Yes, we are still waiting for the news of the Premier League, whether it will be continued or not. And much to our anticipation, we are hoping that the FA would consider the Premier League null and void so that somebody else won't win the league.
You know, Joel, I'm willing to play in Europa League another season for that to happen. Just saying. And then you're going to get a couple of people who just, sign off the live stream now as well.
Yeah. It's okay. We'll talk about this real soon. But just before we get into that, Terry, why don't you just share with other people some nice random facts about how the MCO has been treating you? What movies or TV shows have you been able to binge watch, if you even had the time to do that? But yeah, some stuff that you've been doing during MCO.
So I'm married with two young children, and I think they are having an absolutely wonderful time. I think they cannot believe how wonderful it is that they've got both their parents with them 24/7 to play with them and all. But it's been really fun for me and my wife Rose to just be with them, the kids. But it has also been challenging for us because I thought working from home would be easier. No, and I'm sure Joel, you would agree with me. It is not easier, and there's so many things. It's like meetings the whole day, and there's no distinction between work and home, because now you are working from home. So so yeah, it's been busy, good kind of busy. We've been I think God has been stretching us as a church to think of new ways of how to reach out to and help our members encounter the presence of God wherever they are in their homes. So that is really the driving force between what I do day to day. Binge watcher.
Anything?
I've had some time. I think I love watching TV series and movies. Better Call Saul is one. I watched Money Heist.
Oh yes, okay, I heard about it.
Yes, if you are planning to watch Money Heist, please do not watch the English dub version. Watch the Spanish version because it is way, way, way cooler. All right, I'm so bummed out. It's only 6 episodes though. So Money Heist is one of them, and I recently have been watching quite a lot of football documentaries.
Oh.
Yeah, on Netflix. So Netflix has some pretty cool documentaries.
Nice. Okay. Yep. Any football documentaries you'd like to recommend for those who are really lacking in the football watching department right now, or their legs just itchy, you know? I just cannot wait to play futsal again.
Oh man, bro, I miss football so much, watching and playing.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's just crazy. I've been playing with my 1-year-old's like plastic ball, pretending that it's a football. Okay, so for Liverpool fans, here's a documentary that you absolutely love. It's called Class of '92.
Yes. I watched that. I would recommend it to any football fan, not just.
It's the best, hands down. Fans.
Yeah.
It's the best. Yeah, but if you want like to really open your eyes on the world of football, I think there is this documentary on Israeli team. I think it's I can't remember the name now. I think it's something like Stay Pure or something like that. And it really opens the eyes of to the world of how racism in football can get to such a serious state. So if you want, I can share it on one of my Instagram posts or Facebook if you follow me. And it's really cool. And I've just been intrigued by watching like football documentaries, imagining that I'm playing on the grass as well.
Just speaking of documentaries, we're all like living in some documentary world right now. Like everybody's at home, vlogging and doing their own things. You shared a bit about how you became a youth pastor of Next Gen in DUMC. How would a normal Next Gen meeting or gathering look like pre-MCO?
So we meet on Saturday afternoons from 2 p.m. to 4. The teens, so the teens meet, then the campus or college students meet on Friday night. And I think DUMC as a church, the DNA of our church is really we are a family church, and that would mean that a 5-month-old and 85-year-old, would be in the same service. We would worship together. We would listen to the same sermon. We would encounter God together. So the way that we would run our youth is we would really emphasize and build on cell groups. So we would gather every Saturday as teens from 2 to 4 in our cell groups in church. So a typical Saturday would look like that. So the teens will come, they'll gather in our space, in our youth space, and we will worship together for maybe 20 minutes. And then they'll break off into the cell groups, which is based on age groups. But every last Saturday of the month, we have this combined gathering called Crave, right? Where all the cell groups come together on Saturday 2 to 4, and we would have a celebration together. So that service is usually evangelistic in nature. And then after that, our young people will usually join the Saturday 5 p.m. celebration service in our church.
Okay, just to get a gauge about the normal Next Gen, how many leaders do you all have? How many youth would you all have on a typical Saturday?
So our teen leaders, if I'm not mistaken, we have about 27 to 28 teen leaders. And our youth, we are about 180 teenagers as well. And our leaders are, again, like I said, split up into cell groups by ages. So every age group would typically have about 4 to 5 leaders. And on top of just the regular cell group leaders, I have another tier of leadership called the core leaders. So I've got 4 core leaders with me. These are usually young adults. They're a little bit older. And they will, like, in a sense, oversee the cell group leaders lah.
Okay.
So so you have about like 180, 190 young people on a Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Why don't you just share with us maybe some of the things that you as a youth pastor, or even as a church in DUMC, what are some of the initiatives you have started during this MCO to counteract, staying at home and being restricted?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think personally for me, I am if you guys know me, I'm an extroverted extrovert, and I think that's one of the driving passions that has fueled me for so many years to be in a ministry, is to be involved with people's lives, is to connect, is to journey, and I'm sure, Joel, you would know this, you guys at SU are all about that as well. And I think when the MCO started, in my mind, it hit me quite hard, honestly, because I was thinking to myself, how do I connect? How do I journey? How do I, be with the young people or my leaders during this time? And I think it was a time of really self-reflection of how comfortable we sometimes can find ourselves in. And I think as a youth ministry first, and then I'll talk about Next Gen first, then I'll talk about DUMC. I thank God that the DNA of DUMC and Next Gen is very cell-based. So the emphasis in our engaging with young people has always been in a smaller group instead of the larger combined community. So in a sense, I think when the whole MCO started, immediately we had to strategize on how to run cell groups virtually. Right. So we researched a couple of platforms, and finally we decided on Discord. Because our young people love to play games. And if you guys know or don't know, Discord is I think one of the best platforms out there if you want to play games together and all that lah. All right. So Discord. So we connected on Discord, and then our leaders started to then strategize on their own on how to still connect with every single member on Discord to make it feel like they were there face to face. And I think that to that, I really have to take my hats off to the leaders in Next Gen. And they've been so innovative. They've been so creative. They've created watch parties together. Icebreakers are amazing. Okay, like I jump in once in a while. They're playing Scribble IO, and they're all sorts of games I've never heard before, Joel. In my life. And I can see that connection happening there. Even on that cell group Discord basis. So I think so at least that engagement side of things are there. And I also know that the leaders have been meeting with their members virtually online on Discord as well throughout the week. Again, whether it's to play games or even just to have a chat, with their accountability groups or whatnot. And I think one thing good that has come out of this is that the quieter ones, Joel, you've been involved in your youth ministry as well in your church, and you will know that the quiet ones are quiet. Right? And so usually those really quiet ones that would physically not talk or physically not get involved, if we were to meet together physically, I suddenly find them, or my leaders are finding that they are interacting, they are getting involved in the games, they are actually participating in the cell group. So I think this MCO has been a blessing in disguise, because it's really stretched our leaders. And now I would say that the interaction and the encountering level is actually a little bit more than compared to pre-MCO.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
So now I think in terms of DUMC, it's how do we then bring that to the bigger church level, across the church. So I think the adults are doing the same thing. It is coming together for a weekend celebration, pre-recorded, of course, and then they connect, during the week, either in Zoom or in Google Meets or whatnot. So I think for me that challenge has always been, how do we connect? How do we speak life into each other during this period of time? I don't know if I answered your question.
You talked about Discord being an initiative. Any other initiatives you like to speak about? I mean, with Next Gen or even DUMC as a church?
Zoom is like a blessing in disguise. I think everyone's on Zoom now. No one heard about Zoom before MCO. Have you heard of Zoom before MCO? I certainly didn't. uh, and I think, yeah, so Zoom was one of it, where I think Zoom was a little bit easier for the adults to get into, especially the older adults. Yes, on our social media presence as well has been a lot more active actually. Next Gen. So what some of the things that we've done, and I mentioned it's about interacting, it's about connecting with our young people. So through our social media, we've started initiatives like a workout. So every week there's a workout session on Sundays at 5:30, and you're smiling because you're wondering, hey Terry, do you join the workout? I do. I watch the workout and I have my chips in hand and I'm like, that's an excellent push-up, So we do that as well. I think weekly we try and launch something where our young people can participate in. So I think last week was a prayer drive. So every day they're to post up in their Insta stories what is one thing or one person that they can pray for. This week we are actually launching a new social media initiative. It's called CoFit, FIT. So our members are supposed to post up either a video or a TikTok or something, on how they're keeping fit during this MCO, either physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. All right. So we are quite excited to see how they will respond. I think the past couple of weeks, we've seen an increase in involvement of our young people responding to our social media, like our Instagram and our Facebook. Whereas before this, they wouldn't really be super responsive. So those are some things that we are doing lah.
Yeah, that's really cool. If people want to find out more about this campaign, COVID campaign, where can they look it up?
Oh, okay. So they can follow us on Instagram. All right. It's just search Next Gen My. All right, and they'll be able to follow us on Instagram or on Facebook. Or you could follow me, Terry_Yeow. All right, and so I repost everything that our social media team posts up as well. So if you want to go and check it out, you can please go ahead and do so, and we would love for you to participate. And so Joel, I think one thing that I've really loved about MCO so far, it's been how many days? 400 days already.
Oh, I think about 716. I was about to say, but I think
it feels like it, right?
Accurate.
One thing I really loved is that this is truly the church without walls. And I've been connecting with so many other fellow pastors from different churches around Klang Valley and even around the world. And they've been sharing some of their stuff, and they've asked us questions of how can we help each other. And I think this is such a beautiful picture. I love it. I absolutely love it that we are actually working as a body.
That's amazing. That's really cool to hear. So even as we talk about some of the initiatives and what are some of the new things you have been doing, there's the other side of it, which we all feel restricted. But what are some of the challenges you as a pastor or the ministry has faced over the last, I think the accurate number is 36 about there, not our 400 or 700 count, but
I think it's 36. It's coming to 36 days. Okay, I think first and foremost, like I mentioned, there are still a whole bunch of young people that respond the best when they physically connect, when they do activities together. You can say all you want. You can enjoy FIFA all you want, but nothing beats playing the actual game. That's for me lah.
Yes,
and and I think that's the same for quite a lot of young people. To sweat it out, to run, and to just connect physically. So I think those youth and those leaders, myself included, at one point, I think somewhere last week, when I just felt like, God, I really just genuinely miss just being with the young people physically. And I think that was hard to handle. So I think that would be one challenge, as to really truly connect with someone. And the other is, of course, with the joys of technology, comes as well the pains of troubleshooting. So like, why is my Wi-Fi not working? Or like, why is like, like after you finish recording a worship set, and then you're like rendering that video and rendering that audio file, and like, oh, how come it's stuck on? Like, I didn't record this. How come this is there? Or like you record your voice in a sermon, and only to play it back and find out that my 1-year-old son is screaming in the background. Like, oh no, like, I have to do it again. So I think it's just been those little challenges that have been coming up in the past 36 days. But yeah, I think a big one for me is I want to share with all of you here that are watching, and I hope that if you resonate with this, and I pray that you would hear my heart. I mentioned last week that it was tough for me. I think I would say I did feel like really quite depressed at one point, because I'm like, I really like genuinely miss the people, and miss the young people and all that. And it was really at that point when I stopped whatever I was doing. And I sat down and I just worshipped. And the Lord reminded me that sometimes it's essential for us to take a step back from the work and the doing, and really just be in His presence. And I was really down at that point, but I think when I just did that for a good 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just soaking in His presence, just listening to a worship song, not even praying or worshiping, outwardly or anything, but just soaking in His presence, allowing the Holy Spirit to minister to my heart. And He reminded me that this is what it's about. It's about being in His presence. It's about being ministered to by Him. So if you are there, and this 36 days has felt like 360 days, I feel you. I totally understand what you're going through. But I want to encourage you that it's about being in His presence. It's about knowing who you are in Him, and that comes first. So I want to encourage you to just be that, do that.
That's so good. Thanks for that encouragement, Terry. I mean, even yesterday I was speaking to some of my youth leaders, and they were sharing about some epic comebacks in the Bible, like Noah and Samson. And then after talking for a little while, they said, no, but they ended their life in not very good, not very good terms. But I think the biggest reminder that it wasn't the whole point about the Bible having those stories is not about these people, but it's about God's plan. And that God's plan is the ultimate epic comeback, even through whatever difficulty we are facing and uncertainties that we are facing now. In the end of the day, it's not about what we need to do or what our plans are, is what God's plan ultimately is. So thanks for that. On the other end of the triangle spectrum, we've talked about the initiatives, the challenges. I think Melissa asked us on our Instagram to ask you this question. What are some of the highlights, or we put it as maybe some of the testimonies, specific testimonies that you have seen? As you said, you saw some quiet people coming out of their shell during this time. What are maybe some specific testimonies that you can share with us that has happened during this time?
Oh man, there's been plenty. I think in the youth side, I think sometimes we can like downplay the quiet ones that have connected. So I know specifically this story of this 16-year-old boy who that he literally was not interested at all. He wasn't connected. He wasn't just feeling it. And the leaders really struggle in a sense, because they try and connect, but he would just be on the surface, hello, hi, bye, but just in these 36 days, I've seen such a transformation, that he's there early for virtual cell group. He's participative, he's laughing, he's chatting, he's actually so I think he's initiated prayer groups as well, or like prayer requests. So he's asking his fellow CG members, he's asking his leaders, hey, is there anything that I can pray for?
Yeah.
Like all our social media initiatives, he's there every day and he's participating, and I think just seeing that, for me personally, I've seen him since he was 13, but who he is now and he's 16, and seeing him respond in this way, to me, that brings a lot of joy to my heart. And there's just one of many other youths that also have like kind of responded well. I think we had a young one of our youth as well that was that she tested positive for COVID-19. All right, and so she was hospitalized, and I think when she was down, she was so overwhelmed by the support that she was getting from us and her fellow CG members. Every day they would send in prayers, and I think through that she was saying that she was really uplifted even in that very difficult time. I think our campus ministry, so our campus pastor, Pastor Sarah, she felt like this was the time for us to come together as a ministry and bless those who are who are needy. I mean, not needy, those who are in need. And she challenged her campus leaders to say, hey, okay, let's start raising some money to see how much we can give to buying groceries, basic groceries, and food for the refugee families that are really struggling at this time. And I think in her mind she was like, okay, should be happy with maybe X amount, but just within 36 hours, the campus students managed to raise up like 13,000 ringgit just in 36 hours. And that absolutely blew all of us away, because we're like, this is what it's about. This is what Next Gen is about. We want to raise up a young generation that is concerned about others, that's concerned about society. So that has been something that has really brought us a lot of joy. On top of our weekly online services, and I just want to say this opportunity, this has placed the Church of Malaysia, and we've been given an opportunity now to truly be a church without the four walls. To reach out, like our reach now is so vast and so wide, and I cannot stress any further that this is a beautiful opportunity for us as a church in Malaysia to truly reach out to the lost and reach out to anyone now, because we're not confined to a space now. There was this one particular story when I was recording our very first worship set over the weekend. I was leading worship, and during the recording, I caught myself saying this: how are people going to encounter God through this type of worship? I'm so used to leading worship to people that are in front, and I'm so used to that, so comfortable with that. And I caught myself saying this, Joel. God, I don't know how I'm going to lead. I don't know whether this will work or not. And during the weekend when that service was being aired, I got a text from one of the church members, and she basically said that her father, who's an elderly man, was watching, the service going on at home, and he asked the daughter, "What is that guy singing about?" And the daughter's like, "What do you mean? That guy now on the TV? What is he singing about?" And the daughter said, "Oh, he's singing about Jesus. He's singing about how much Jesus loves us, and singing about God's love for us." And the father was like, I feel funny. I feel strange. I feel like my heart's very warm. And the daughter has been trying to get the father to come to church for donkey years, right? And so she asked the dad, she told her dad, "Dad, this is Jesus. He's here, and he wants to tell you that he loves you." And she asked the dad, "Do you want to accept Christ?" And he said, "Yes." Wow. So on the spot, she led the father through the sinner's prayer. And here's the heartwarming part, okay? The father couldn't stop saying the sinner's prayer, and he kept just repeating it, and he kept repeating, "Thank you, God. Thank you. I don't know, why I feel this way, but I just feel so warm. I feel so loved." And he just kept repeating that. And then it hit me, that's what it's all about, bro. Bro.
Yeah.
It's not about how well we produce a worship set.
Yeah.
But it's about being conscious about hosting his presence.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
leading his people into encountering him.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was super blown away by that, and super humbled, to just hear that this is what it's about. His presence is everywhere, and we just need to do our part in having the right heart and the right attitude in serving him lah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just one of the things that have been absolutely blown away.
Awesome.
This time,
that's so awesome. Yeah. I mean, even for not just the people who are involved on stage usually, but also the recipients of these things. Sometimes we catch ourselves thinking that we're just turning on an album, a worship album, just to be entertained, rather than that can also be our time to worship, like you were saying, like how you just meditated and soaked in God's presence by playing music. Sometimes we just think like we just turning things on like it's just any other album, but these songs are really powerful. These are just so many ways that the church has really been shifting and moving around and just getting used to the new normal, as many people are calling it. What are some other changes that you foresee how the Church of Malaysia will look like after MCO?
Interesting. About 2 months before this whole COVID thing blew up, our senior pastor actually shared in one of our weekend services to to challenge our church on really carrying our cross. So are we truly disciples of Christ?
Yeah.
And in Malaysia, we are so blessed that we don't face massive persecution. In fact, I would say we probably don't face any persecution at all. And I think he felt that he shared that because we have very, very comfortable disciples of Christ, followers of Christ. They come to church to be entertained and to watch a show instead of serving the King of Kings. And I think when he preached that, a lot of members were very challenged by that, to say, what if this was taken away from us? And I remember asking myself that question. DUMC is blessed to have a building and to have leaders and pastors, and we've got comfortable facilities. And I asked myself that question: God, what if all this is taken away? How would I respond? And then 2 months later, the MCO happened, and we're not allowed to meet in our comfortable buildings. We're not allowed to have worship comfortably and practice with a full band and etc. and all that. And I think what I'm sensing is that I think this is like a practice run for churches in Malaysia to prepare themselves. Truly, what if persecution hits? And we're not allowed to be in the buildings anymore. Then what? How would we respond to that? And I'm not saying that persecution is definitely going to come, who knows? Only God knows. But all I know is that if persecution had hit us, 2 months before, I don't think we would have been ready, to respond in the right manner. And I think this whole MCO, the past 36 days, have really challenged a lot of churches, big church, small church, home church, whatever church, to really start seeing that it is possible to have a church without the four walls. It is possible to come together as his kingdom, as part of his body, to serve the people. It is possible, and we're already seeing a little bit. I would say that we're merely touching the surface of the possibilities, that the Church of Malaysia is able to achieve through His Spirit, working through us in this manner. So I just want to encourage you out there, that if you're part of a church, and whether it's a bigger church or a smaller church or whatever, that there's so much that we can do now without the four walls. And I foresee that side of the Church of Malaysia being strengthened. I just had a meeting today with a pastor friend from a church in Sunway, and we were talking about just this topic, and he's super excited as well, because he's saying that, man, we are able to now to reach everyone in Malaysia. And you know what I mean? Like everyone, like everyone is now like we have the
opportunity.
The opportunity to share the gospel with anyone.
Correct.
And it's just an amazing opportunity, and I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I was telling my youth leaders yesterday also, right? Like this time is the bubble of which God has presented to us, not just to be in maintenance mode. Sometimes we just think like, oh, now it's just time to maintain until we can actually go back to our buildings. But now is actually the time to actually take advantage of this period. Yeah. So, and really use this period not just as a maintenance mode, but really in going forth and doing what we are actually supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah, so since you spoke about like how you've been speaking to some youth leaders, I also know that there are many people out there that may feel discouraged, as I said, they just feel like, oh, I'm just going to do things for the sake of doing things till we get our buildings back, till we are able to go out again, till we are able to play futsal with our youth again. What are some things you like to encourage and get people motivated and drive people to go out and really reach their youth and continue in the work and keep up the faith that that God has purpose for each of us?
If you're in a youth ministry, or if you're a youth, or if you're a church leader, again, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to lead your young people or your group to impact in a way that you guys have never tried before. So if it's something that you want to band together to participate in, there are so many NGOs out there that you can sign yourself up, or your team up to go and impact communities that are in need. So like I mentioned, like something that our campus pastor did with the leaders, it's not difficult to do. It's challenging. It's challenging your members to pray. And to really feel that that passion to do something to make a difference. I think one of our campus members actually said this: there's nothing better to do anyway. We're stuck at home, right? And this is the best time for us to use this, to really hear from God, to challenge us to do something, about it. And it doesn't matter whether you're a big group or a small group. I think this MCO has taught us that it doesn't matter if you're a big church or a small church. If you got a church of 10 people, perfect. Challenge the 10 people to do something. If you're a youth group of 6 people, perfect. What can you do with the 6 youth? To make a difference with your friends that are probably struggling of boredom at this time. Reach out to them, connect with them, play games with them. These are like fantastic opportunistic times for us to really take hold of. And if you are a youth member here, and you're thinking to yourself like, my internet connection at home is really poor, and I cannot really participate, which I TM and Unify was like had a massive like a blockage the other time, right? Can I just say that now's the time for you to connect with your neighbor, or maybe someone at home. I've made it an initiative. I made it a point, Joel, that I would connect with the neighbors in my floor. I stay in the condominium, and I realized that I actually don't really see them because I go up early in the morning and I come back late at night. So I don't really see them. And I realized that during this MCO, me and my wife, we just reached out to them. There's this old lady staying opposite us, and we checking out on her. Little things like this. It actually does make a difference. The guards at our condo, every time we order Grab food, we order a little bit for them as well. And I think there was this one time this guard actually said to me, why do you order for us? I said, I don't know, just want to feed you lah.
Yeah.
And he actually looked at me and said, do you know that we've been finding it very, very difficult to eat? And a lot of times we don't realize that the guards actually, they don't have, in a sense, enough money to order Grab food. So where are they going to get their food from? And I think that broke my heart, because all these years that I've been staying here, I never once thought about that. And I felt so convicted. I felt so ashamed of myself at that time. But these are little things that we can do to really live out the gospel. This is how we can preach the gospel to them without even saying a word. Is to show them God's love. Show them the concern and care. And here's a funny story. My wife went to give that old lady some food, because we cooked some extra pizza, and she went to give her some, and that old lady actually told my wife, she said, my children called me almost every day, and they asked me how I am, and I said, I'm very good, because I have this pastor and his wife also pastor, I think, I'm not sure, and they always care for me. Then my children asked me, hey, then they got try and preach to you or not? And she said, no, they never try and force me to become a follower of Christ, but they just show care, they just show concern. And wow, I y'all don't need to worry about me, y'all don't need to worry about me. You have them. That really warmed my heart, because that's what it's all about, right? It's just, if you're out there,
it's just loving God through loving people.
It's as simple as that.
That's so good. So even like the students that we've come into contact with, we've been encouraging them, like some of them, just if you have your teacher's number, just go text your teacher and ask your teacher how they're doing. Like, you expect the teachers to be the ones caring for students, but if you are a child of God, nothing stops you from actually caring for someone that is older than you. So
or even text your pastor and text your youth leader to see how they are doing, and encourage them, because this it's hard for everyone, right?
That's so good. So that's a message for the youth out there, something you can initiate, something you can do. Just appreciate your pastors, your youth leaders, the people that have been taking care of you. So on that note, Terry, you want to give a little plug to your social network accounts, so people can follow you, or even the next gen social network accounts, so people can keep up to the campaigns that you all have in store?
Come and participate with us. I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to also share with us what your youth is doing, what your church is doing. And we, like I said, this is the perfect time for us to collaborate and just be a church without the four walls, and to encourage each other and to participate in each other's initiatives. I think this is the perfect time for that. So come and if you want to add me, you want to follow, I would love to follow you back as well. You want to ask me how am I a Chinese, and how come I can grow janggut and Joel don't have, you can as well. I love to connect with young people, and if you're a Liverpool fan, follow me. I'll pray for you as well. You may just be going through a lot.
Thank you so much, Terry, for being on this little Let's Chat session. I hope to get you back on another session. As I say, I'm very excited to have you on for this little live stream. I thank you for being my mentor, for being my older brother, and I hope to get you on for another video so that you can share your testimony. As you said, it'll be a 4-hour live stream for that. But in any other case, I thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless.
God bless.